Our guest of the evening, as you probably saw from the posters, a great favourite of the club, so I won't go into big long announcements, except to say, would you welcome back, please, Iain Mackintosh.
We had some chickens, no eggs would they lay. Had some chickens, no eggs would they lay. My wife said, honey, sure ain't funny, we're losing money, no eggs will they lay. That's a few eggs laid there. Then a rooster came into our yard, cut them chickens off their guard. They're laying eggs now like they never used to, since a rooster came into our yard. We had some milk cows, no milk would they give. Had some milk cows, no milk would they give. My wife said, honey, this sure ain't funny, we're losing money, no milk will they give. Then a rooster came into our yard with a stool, cut those milk cows off their guard. They're giving eggnog like they never used to, since a rooster came into our yard. We had some elephants, no tusk would they grow. Had some elephants, no tusk would they grow. My wife said, honey, this sure ain't funny, we're losing money, no tusk will they grow. Then a rooster came into our yard with a ladder, cut those elephants off their guard. They're laying eggs now of solid ivory, since a rooster came into our yard. A verse I learned from an American friend one night, about a rooster. This turns the tables, this one a wee bit. It's about a rooster who was different. We had this rooster, he was so gay. Had a rooster, awfully gay. My wife said, honey, this sure ain't funny, we're losing money, it's terribly gay. And then a chicken came into our yard, cut the rooster off his guard. He's laying hens now like he never used to, since a chicken came into our yard. Right, song now from an LP I have. It's an LP called Enoch Powell Sings Tamla Motown. You know how in this country we've got Mother's Day, which is about 9 months after Father's Day. Well, in America they've got a week which they set aside for an event when all the different creeds and sects and religions are supposed to like one another a bit better. It's a week called National Brotherhood Week, and this is a song about it. Well, the poor folks hate the rich folks, and the rich folks hate the poor folks, and my folks hate your folks for 51 weeks of the year. But during National Brotherhood Week, National Brotherhood Week. New Yorkers love the Puerto Ricans 'cause it's very chic. So step up, shake the hand of someone you can't stand. You can tolerate them if you try. And the white folks hate the black folks, and the black folks hate the white folks. To hate all but the right folks is an old established rule. But during National Brotherhood Week, National Brotherhood Week, see Enoch Powell and Shirley Bassey dancing cheek to cheek. It's fun to eulogize the people you despise, as long as you don't let them in your school. And Protestants hate the Catholics, and the Catholics hate the Protestants, and the Hindus hate the Muslims, and everybody hates the Jews. But during National Brotherhood Week, National Brotherhood Week, it's national, everyone smile at one another. Hood week, be nice to people who are inferior to you. It's only for a week, so have no fear. Just be grateful it doesn't last all year. That's that one. Thank you. Sing a song now written by Hamish Henderson about a man who was something of a folk hero in Glasgow before the start of the First World War. His name was John McLean, and John was a school teacher and a very good living family man. I think most of you may know about this, but just in case somebody doesn't, I'll tell you. And he was a radical, he was a socialist Republican, and he used to speak at street corners. And as I say, the things he said were very popular. He was wanting better education for children. That was one of his hobby horses. And he, as I say, the things he said were very popular with the people, but not with the government. And one day, in a street corner speech, he advocated that the young men shouldn't go to war, but should stay home and sort out the trouble that was in the country at the time. So for saying this, he was put in prison. And it's kind of hard to believe nowadays, but there was a great public outcry, so much so that the outcry was so great that he was released from prison after a few weeks. And when he arrived back on the train at Buchanan Street Station in Glasgow, there were 200,000 Glasgow people there to meet him. That's true. Imagine Mr. Heath arriving at Buchanan Street, there were 200,000 there to lynch him. Anyway, the John McLean March. Hey Mac, did you see him as he came down by Gorgie, o'er the Lammerlaw and north o' the Tay? Yon man is coming, and the hail tune is turning out, for oh, sure he'll win back to Glasgow the day. The Jiners and Hodders on are marching frae Clydebank. Come on now and hear him, he'll be our trying to bide. Turn out, Jock and Jimmy, leave your cranes and your muckle gantries great. John McLean's coming hame to the Clyde. Argyle Street and London roads, a route that we're marching the lads. Frae the Broomelaw are here to a man. Hey Neil, where's your hodderums, your big heel and chooter? Get your pipes, mate, and march at the head o' the clan. Hello, Pat Malone, sure I knew you'd be here. So the red and the green lad will march side by side. Gorbals is his the day, Glasgow belongs to him, and great John McLean's coming hame to the Clyde. Ah, we'll, when it's over, I'll awa back to Springburn. Come hame for your tea, John, we'll soon have you fed. It's hard work the speaking, and I'm sure you'll be tired tonight. I'll sleep on the flare, Mac, and gie John the bed. The hale city's quiet now, it kens he's resting. Hame lay his Glasgow friends, their fame and their pride. The red will be worn, my lads, and Scotland will march again in great John McLean. Let's come hame to the Clyde. Thank you. Right, that's all the loud songs over. Can't go on shouting like that all night. Now a song I learned from my first wife. Always call her that, it keeps her on her toes. This is actually a sort of join-in song. Wait, I get tuned. I get my strings from Uri Geller. Some salesman that sold me these ones anyway, I don't know. I think you could sell a double bed to the Pope. A poor old man was crossing the road, crossing the road, crossing the road. A poor old man was crossing the road when along came a wheelbarrow. That's all you have to do. Just sing a poor old man crossing the road. Come on, try it with me. A poor old man was crossing the road. Sing it, come on. Crossing the road, crossing the road. A poor old man was crossing the road when along came a wheelbarrow. Very good. Don't let the wheels of your wheelbarrow, try it, your wheelbarrow, your wheelbarrow. Oh, don't let the wheels of your wheelbarrow run over the poor old man. First time. A poor old man was crossing the road, crossing the road, crossing the road. A poor old man was crossing the road when along came a fish and chip potato van. Right, this time round. Don't let the wheels of your fish and chip potato van wheelbarrow, your fish and chip potato van wheelbarrow. Come on, try it. Don't let the wheels of your run over the poor old man. The easy bit. A poor old man was crossing the road, crossing the road, crossing the road. A poor old man was crossing the road when along came a trolley bus with no wipers. Don't let the wheels of your with no wipers, fish and chip potato van wheelbarrow, your trolley bus. Come on, don't chicken out now. Oh, don't let the wheels of your trolley bus with no wipers, fish and chip potato van wheelbarrow run over the poor old man. Now a poor old man was crossing the road, crossing the road, crossing the road. A poor old man was crossing the road when along came a Glasgow Corporation cart, what sucks water out of holes. Right? All together. Don't let the wheels of your Glasgow Corporation cart, what sucks water out of holes, trolley bus with no wipers, fish and chip potato van wheelbarrow, your Glasgow Corporation. What a bunch. Oh, don't let the wheels of your Glasgow Corporation cart, what sucks water out of holes, trolley bus with no wipers, fish and chip potato van wheelbarrow run over the poor old man. Good on you. You did not Right, here's one. This is one I learned from two friends of mine, singer-songwriters, whom I admire very much, Benny Gallagher and Graham Lyle. Benny told me that when they were in London with a band called McGuinness Flint, that they were staying in lodgings with a lady, an Italian landlady, and she was a terribly religious person. She was too religious for Benny. And there were wee rules printed in cards, and these rules were stuck up in every room in the house about things which you must not do in her house. So they wrote this song for her. No, about her. The first verse is also the chorus. You can try it with me. No dogs, no cats, and wipe your feet on the mat. No blacks, no blues. The rent is due 3 weeks in advance. Put it in her hand. Now there's a line. If you want to stay at Mrs. Canatelli's. No dogs, no cats. No dogs, no cats. No cats, and wipe your feet. And wipe your feet on the mat. No blacks, no blues. No blacks, no blues. The rent is due. The rent is due 3 weeks in advance. That line again. Put it in her hand if you want to stay. If you want to stay at Mrs. Canatelli's. no girls, no men. The doors are locked right on 10. You can't conceive. She believes holy water feeds all your naughty needs, giving liberty. At Mrs. Canatelli's, no dogs, no dogs, no cats, and wipe your feet on the mat. No blacks, no blacks, no blues. The rent is due 3 weeks in advance. Put it in her hand if you want to stay at Mrs. Canatelli's. She starts her day with every prayer she can say. Her tea and toast are sanctified by the heavenly host. Every lodger knows heaven is that close at Mrs. Canatelli's. Last time round, no dogs, no cats, and wipe your feet on the mat. No blacks, no blues. The rent is due 3 weeks in advance. Put it in her hand if you want to stay at Mrs. Canatelli's. Well done. So nice. Here's a song about a man who was a born loser. Haven't sung this one for a wee while, but so if I stumble during it, just forgive me. I'm thinking about it now. Wee mind's going. Yeah. Leopold Alcox, my distant relation, came to my flat for a brief visitation. He's been here since February, damn and blast him. My nerves and my furniture may not outlast him. Leopold Alcox is accident prone. He's lost my bath plug and ruptured my telephone, my antirhinums, my motorbike, my sofa. There isn't anything he can't trip over. This song has the most excruciating rhymes I've ever had to sing. As he roams through my rooms, all my pussy cats scatter. My statuettes tremble, then plummet, then shatter. My table lamps tumble with grim regularity. My crystal has crumbled, and so has my charity. Leopold Alcox, an uncanny creature. He can't take tea without some misadventure. He looks up from his teacup with a smirk on his features and a piece of my porcelain cup in his dentures. As he roams through my rooms, all my pussy cats scatter. Did I sing that verse before? Yeah. How's it go then? He has upset my goldfish and jinxed my wisteria. My budgie's gone broody, my tortoise has hysteria. He cleans my teapot and saucepans with Brasso and leaves chocolate fingerprints on my Picasso. Leopold Alcox, never known to fail, working his way through my frail Chippendales. One blow from his thighs, which are fearsomely strong, would easily fracture the wing of a swan. I took my bird home for some Turkish moussaka. Up looms old Leopold, I know when I'm knackered. He spilt the vino, the great eager beaver, drenching her jumpsuit and my joie de vivre. Leopold Alcox, you're stirring my spleen. You are the sand in my life's Vaseline. A curse on you, Alcox, you've been here since February. Go home and leave me alone with my debris. Now Leopold Alcock's my distant relation has gone away home after his visitation. I saw him waving goodbye just this minute. He was waving his hand with my doorknob still in it. Sing an anti-war song now, if I may. I was doing an LP back in Hamish, Imlach, my father, about a couple of years back. The second to last one he did. And there was a song on it which I liked very much. It was, as I say, an anti-war song. And like all the good anti-war songs, it's one that was sung by the soldiers. It's a First World War song. If you want to see the general, I know where he is. I know where he is, I know where he is. If you want to see the general, I know where he is, sitting in the Folie Bergère. I saw him, sitting in the Folie Bergère. I saw him, sitting in the Folie Bergère. You can sing along with this one if you sort of pick it up, it's quite easy. If you want to see the captain, I know where he is, I know where he is, I know where he is. If you want to see the captain, I know where he is, knocking off the adjutant's wife. I saw him, knocking off the adjutant's wife. I saw him, knocking off the adjutant's wife. If you want to see the sergeant, I know where he is, I know where he is, I know where he is. If you want to see the sergeant, I know where he is, fiddling the company's rum. I saw him, fiddling the company's rum. I saw him, fiddling the company's rum. If you want to see your husband, I know where he is, I know where he is, I know where he is. If you want to see your husband, I know where he is, hanging on the old barbed wire. I saw him, hanging on the old barbed wire. I saw him, hanging on the old barbed wire. Yes, I'll sing a song. And when I was in Germany last year, I was singing in a festival in Osnabrück, and there was a German group I met there called the Rambling Pitchforkers. Honest, that was their name. And they taught me, all they did was Scottish songs, and they taught me this song, which I hadn't heard before. It's a kind of northeast, it's an Aberdeen music hall song, and it's a kind of northeast equivalent of the Gaelic mouth music. And I'll say it's got a chorus, this one. Mary Mac, Smithers Mac and Mary Mac, marry me and my mother's Mac and me. Marry Mary Mac, I'm gonna marry Mary. Mary will take care of me, well I'll be Mac and Mary when I marry Mary Mac. Now that's the chorus. Next time round, try it. Well, a braw wee lass, and her name is Mary Mac, and Mac, nae mistake, she's the lass I'm going to tack. There's a lot of other lads would like to get upon her track, but I'm thinking that they'll have to be up early. Mary Mac, Smithers Mac and Mary Mac, marry me and my mother's Mac and me. Marry Mary Mac, I'm going to marry Mary. Mary will take care of me, well I'll be Mac and Mary when I marry Mary Mac. It's sure to be a grand affair, grander than the fair. There's sure to be a lot of fun, I'm sure to get my share, and there's sure to be a couch and a chair for every pair that's there, and if there's no one very much mistaken. Mary Mac, Smithers Mac and Mary Mac, marry me and my mother's Mac and me. Marry Mary Mac, I'm gonna marry Mary. Mary will take care of me, well I'll be Mac and Mary when I marry Mary Mac. Now, Mary and her mother's gone an half a time together, and you very seldom see them, the one without the other, and the boys often wonder if it's Mary or her mother, or the both of them together that I'm courting. Mary Mac, Smithers Mac and Mary Mac, marry me and my mother's Mac and me. Marry Mary Mac, I'm gonna marry Mary. Mary will take care of me, well I'll be Mac and Mary when I marry Mary Mac. How are we doing for time, Andy? And you. Right. Right. This is a song then. I was singing at Inverness about 3-4 weeks back, and there was a young man on singing there. Alan Taylor was his name, and he gave me a song which he had written in Belfast in 1971. And it has a nice simple chorus. The song's called Lead On, I'll Follow. I'll teach you the chorus as we come to it. I have listened to the prophets, I've listened to their hymns, I've seen their marble statues, and I heard the faithful sing. Do they live by what they're saying? Would they turn the other cheek? And the chorus is, lead on, I'll follow, I'll find you if I can. Try it. Lead on, I'll follow, I'll find you if I can. In the churches, God is holy, and the people hide their hate. By the roadside, He's forgotten, and God will have to wait. But how long must He suffer? How long can He wait? Lead on, I'll follow, I'll find you if I can. Lead on, I'll follow, I'll find you if I can. They're fighting one another with a prayer book in their hand and a weapon in the other. They'll never understand, and each side claims He was their God, but to take your name in vain. Sing it. Lead on, I'll follow, I'll find you if I can. Lead on, I'll follow, I'll find you if I can. Stop and listen to the children, they cannot understand. They're puzzled by the fire and the marching of the band. They've longer to remember, and they will suffer most. Last time. Lead on, I'll follow, I'll find you if I can. Lead on, I'll follow, I'll find you if I can. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you.
Stand.
Our guest of the evening has just gone to pick up his machine. So would you welcome back, please, Iain Mackintosh.
Before I begin, I'd like to say my own thanks to all the floor singers tonight who sang. I think it's a long time since I heard so many good floor singers in one club. And that's not flannel either, I mean that. He's a big teeny bopper with a maxi crown topper, 'cause his mother said he couldn't let his hair grow. She comes in peeping and she shaves him while he's sleeping, 'cause she doesn't want him looking like a weirdo. He was skipping night classes, wearing funky dark glasses, telling lassies he's a roadie for a soul band. Took a flip trip solo, aspirins and Coca-Cola, they found a limestone behind the bandstand. Baby, when the gig's all done, maybe we can have some fun, like the last time I saw Esau Shaw. He's a cool man alive, a hot rod and rally driver. He asked me if I wouldn't like a co-drive. Spent a whole year cooking from an empty bottle, took in breathalyzed by the fuzz and didn't survive. He said his wide-wheeled GT was the hairiest machinery, with stage 3 tuning and a hi-fi. It was a clapped-out Mini, was sounding kinda tinny, cause he found it on its axles in a lay-by. Baby, when the gig's all done, try it. Maybe we can have some fun, like the last time I saw Esau Shaw. He spent the whole summer working just to buy a leather jerkin and go burning up the M1 on a moped. And he kept getting angry cause the Hondas and the Yamahas passed him like he's anchored to a test bed. He was giving it the gun and doing 5 above the ton and weaving like he's trying Harry-Carry. And the last we clapped eyes and he was crossing the horizon with his wing mirrors hooked on a Ferrari. Baby, when the gig's all done, maybe we can have some fun, like the last time I saw Esau Shaw. Now the big teeny bopper is a new chart topper, and he's even got a colour TV show. He's a 3-chord master and his playing's getting faster on a Fender Telecaster with a capo. At an all-night party Esau thought he would be smart as rolling joints at Ursulus that were defective. And Esau was disgusted when he got himself busted cause the man he sat beside was a detective. Baby, when the gig's all done, finish it. Maybe we can have some fun, like the last time I saw Esau Shaw. An Archie Fisher song, that was. Archie told me Rab helped him to write some of that. Called it a joint composition. Sorry. I have a collection of songs of sports and activities. I do one about golfing. I do one about running for buses. That's not really a sport, but the drivers think it is. This is one about another sport. Spring is here, spring is here. Life is skittles and life is beer. I think the loveliest time of the year is the spring. I do, don't you? Of course you do. But one thing that makes life complete for me, it makes every Sunday a treat for me. All the world seems in tune on a spring afternoon when we're poisoning pigeons in the park. Every Sunday you'll see my sweetheart and me poisoning pigeons in the park. When they see us coming, the birdies all try and hide, but they still go for peanuts when coated with cyanide. Everything seems alright, and the sun's shining bright when we're poisoning pigeons in the park. La 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 dum. We've gained notoriety, caused much anxiety in bird-watching circles with our games. They've called it impiety and lack of propriety, and quite a variety of unpleasant names. But it isn't against our religion to want to dispose of a pigeon. So if Sunday you're free, why don't you come with me and we'll poison the pigeons in the park. And maybe we'll do in a squirrel or two when poisoning pigeons in the park. We'll murder them all amidst laughter and merriment, except for a few we'll take home to experiment. My heartbeat is quickening with each drop of strychnine when we're poisoning pigeons in the park. That you in the cheap beer, Paul? This is a love song. A kind of unusual love song. It's a love song for married people. Not that I've got any, nothing against marriage, don't think that. I think it's a great cure for love. This is, and if you do get married, or are married and have children, a great thing to remember is if you can persuade your children to run 3 miles every morning and 3 miles every evening, do you realise by the end of the week they can be 42 miles away? This song hasn't got a big shouting chorus, but it's got a nice kind of hum along sort of thing. I was asked to sing this one, so who am I to refuse a request? What's your hurry? Just watch this. This is one you mustn't miss. Annie's going to sing her song called Take Me Back Again. A drink for me, a drink for you. We're gonna need a drink or two. Annie's going to sing her song called Take Me Back Again. You never heard it sung before. I hear it twice a month or more, complete with tears and sheepish grins. It only lacks the violins. The tune goes flat from time to time. The lyrics sometimes fail to rhyme, but Annie is gonna sing her song called Take Me Back Again. Annie is gonna sing her song called Take Me Back Again. It sometimes lasts the whole night long, depends on how long she's been gone. I sit and look as hard as nails. She knows a damn thing never fails. So take the bottle, fill the cup, don't miss the part where I fold up. Annie is gonna sing her song called Take Me Back Again. Go on. Annie is going to sing her song called Take Me Back Again. It isn't Annie's only tune, the other I'll be hearing soon. Next week, tomorrow, or today, she sings it when she goes away. So take the bottle, fill the cup, don't miss the part where I fold up. Annie is going to sing her song called Take Me Back Again. Last time. Annie's gonna sing her song called Take Me Back Again. Come on, Annie, sing your song, I'll take you back again. Thank you. That was a Tom Paxton song. I think I'll do another one of his. Yeah, why not? This is a song I learned from my ideal woman. She's a deaf, mute nymphomaniac who owns a brewery. It's a serious song, really, about a young man who went to war and didn't come back. It's about a tent hospital in Vietnam. Get up, Jimmy Newman, the morning has come. The engines are rumbling, the coffee's all brewed. Get up, Jimmy Newman, there's work to be done. Why do you lie there still sleeping? There's a waiting line forming to use the latrine. The sun is just opening the sky. The breakfast they're serving just has to be seen. You've only to open your eyes. Get up, Jimmy Newman, my radio's on. The news is all bad, but it's good for a laugh. The tent flap is loose and the peg must be gone. Why do you lie there still sleeping? The night nurse has gone and the sexy one's here. She tells us such beautiful lies. Her uniform's tight on her marvellous rear. You've only to open your eyes. Get up, Jimmy Newman, you're missing the fun. They're loading the plane, Jim, it's time to go home. It's over for us, there's no more to be done. Why do you lie there still sleeping? It's stateside for us, Jim, the folks may not know. We'll let it be such a surprise. They're loading us next, Jim, we're ready to go. And you've only to open your eyes. Get up, Jimmy Newman, they won't take my word. I said you'd sleep on, but they're shaking their head. Oh, get up, Jimmy Newman, and show them you heard. Ah, Jimmy, just show them you're sleeping. A joke is a joke, but there's nothing to gain. Jim would slap you, but I'm too weak to rise. Get up, damn it, Jimmy, you're missing the plane. And you've only to open your eyes. You've only to open your eyes. People who sing in folk clubs, and hippies and musicians and students and people who go to folk clubs very often speak a language of their own, and very often they're misunderstood. This is a song about a man who's a bit hip, and he was always being misunderstood. For a long time now, I've been aware that I'm alright, but like the world is square. So listen, people, and take my tip. It does not pay to be hip. Well, just last week I found myself in the red with no way to meet my overheads. So I went to my buddy and I asked for some bread. And this is what he said. He said, you want white bread, brown bread, plain bread, or pan bread, sliced bread? I said, later, man. He said, 3 o'clock, 4. I said, later, man. He said, Thursday. I said, forget it. So feeling hung up, I went down to the man, because I heard he always had some stuff on hand. I said, help me, buddy, will you spare me some pot? He said, you're welcome to anything I've got. And I've got meat pots, stew pots, brass pots and copper pots, casserole. I said, cool it. He said, put it in the refrigerator. I said, oh, cool it, man. He said, turn on the air conditioning. I said, no, forget it. So still feeling strung up and hung out and brought down like there was nobody hip in the whole damn town, I went up to this chick and she was long and tall, and I asked her, would she care to ball? And she said, football, baseball, volleyball, basketball, handball. I said, you're putting me on. She said, on the plane, on the train, on the bus, on. I said, oh, come on, I just want to make it. She said, make what? I said, I want to make a scene, baby. She said, Shakespeare, Arthur Miller, Gilbert and Sullivan. I said, oh, forget it. She said, do you know what I'd like to do? I said, no. She said, I'd like to make love to you. I said, well, go, baby, go. And she left. Chorus song. That's my brother, who Sylvester, what has he got? He's got a row of 40 medals on his chest, big chest. He killed 40 Indians in the west, he needs no rest. Bigger the man, hell's fire, son of a gun. Don't push, just shove, there's bags of room for you and me. He's got an arm like a leg, a lady's leg, and a punch that would sink a battleship, big ship. It takes all the army and the navy to put the wind up, Sylvester. Now that's a chorus, next time round, everybody in. Have you heard about the big strong man? He lived in a caravan. Have you heard about the Johnson-Dempsey fight, where the big black man fought the white? You can talk about the heavyweights you've got. What have you got? I've got a boy to beat the lot. He slightly bats in the belfry, and he wants to fight Jack Dempsey. Your bit. That's my brother, who Sylvester, what has he got? He's got a row of 40 medals on his chest. He killed 40 Indians in the west. He needs no rest. Bigger the man, hell's fire, son of a gun. Don't push, just shove. There's bags of room for you and me. He's got an arm, what an arm, like a leg, a lady's leg. A punch that would sink a battleship, big ship. It takes all the army and the navy to put the wind up. Sylvester, now he thought he'd take a trip to Italy, and he thought he'd like to go by sea. So he dived off the harbour at New York, and he swam like a man made of cork. He spied the Lusitania in distress. What did he do? Swallowed all the water in the sea, big swallow. Then he took the Lusitania on his chest, and he walked all the way to Italy. Come on. That's my brother, who Sylvester, what has he got? He's got a row of 40 medals on his chest, big chest. He killed 40 Indians in the west. He needs no rest. Bigger the man, hell's fire, son of a gun. Don't push, just shove. There's bags of room for you and me. He's got an arm, like a leg, a lady's leg, and a punch that will sink a battleship, big ship. Takes all the army and the navy to put the wind up. Sylvester. I heard another version of this song from Mike Elliott, who's a very good North of England singer. He sang about our late lamented Prime Minister. That's our leader, who Ted Heath. What has he got? He's got a double row of big shiny teeth, big teeth. He shrugs his shoulders up and down underneath. He brings us grief, what a bloke, I wish he'd choke or have a stroke. He's got a yacht, what has he got? What has he got? He's got a yacht. He sails it on a deep blue sea, and you always find him on the morning sickness, our leader, who Ted Heath. Now he thought he'd take a trip to old Japan, so they turned out the old town band. He tried every instrument they got, and he buggered up the whole damned lot. The old church choir was singing, and the old church bells were ringing ding dong, and they all sang Auld Lang Syne to that big bad brother of mine. Last chance. That's my brother, who Sylvester, what has he got? He's got a big St. Michael label on his vest. He killed 40 Indians in the west. He needs no rest. Bigger the man, hell's fire, son of a gun. Don't push, just shove. There's bags of room for you and me. He's got an arm, what an arm, like a leg, a lady's leg. A punch that would sink a battleship, big ship. It takes all the army and the navy to put the wind up. Sylvester. That's it. Just a sec now. Did you hear about the Sergeant Major who was terribly shy? And he went into this house of ill repute, and he walked over to a girl and he said, "Excuse me, miss, how much would you take for my company for the evening?" She said, £8. He said, "Company, fall in, left, right, left, right." Like that one. You can tell on that one tomorrow, Andy. Sarah, Cynthia, Sylvia Stout wouldn't take the garbage out. She'd wash the dishes and scrub the pans and cook the yams and spice the hams. But though her parents would scream and shout, she wouldn't take the garbage out. And so it piled up to the ceiling: coffee grounds, potato peelings, brown bananas, rotten peas, lumps of sour cottage cheese filled the can and covered the floor, cracked the windows and blocked the door with bacon rinds and chicken bones, drippy ends of ice cream cones, pizza crusts and withered greens, soggy beans and tangerines, peach pips, prune pips, orange peel, gloppy lumps of cold oatmeal, crusts of black burnt buttered toast, gristly bits of beefy roast. The garbage rolled on down the hall. It raised the roof and broke the wall with greasy napkins, cookie crumbs, blobs of gooey bubble gum, cellophane from old bologna, rubbery, blubbery macaroni, peanut butter caked in dried cuts of green and mouldy pie, rotten melon skins and mustard, eggshells mixed with lemon custard, cold French fries and rancid meat, yellow lumps of cream of wheat. Me too. At last, the garbage reached so high that finally it touched the sky. And none of her friends would come to play, and all the neighbours moved away. And finally, Sarah, Cynthia Stout said, "Okay, I'll take the garbage out." But then, of course, it was too late. The garbage reached across the state from New York to the Golden Gate. There in the garbage she did hate. Poor Sarah met an awful fate that I cannot right now relate, because the hour is much too late. But children, remember Sarah Stout, and always take the garbage out. How are we doing for time, Andy? A couple more? Time. Right, here's a Glasgow song then, about, it's a Glasgow music hall song. And it's about a man who was very well endowed. Nothing to do with his insurance policy, hasten to add. He was a big chap, was known as a genital giant. 3 parts in each verse in which you can join. You might know it, I think. On the 17th of March, in la-di-da-di-da, a son was born to Mrs. Daddy-Dum. He had 2 arms, 2 legs, ears and eyes, a mouth, and the usual la-di-da-di-da-di-dum. La-di-das and daddy-dums are yours, okay? His mother christened him la-di-da-di-da, and gave his second name as Daddy-Dum. And throughout his life, and he lived for 90 years, he was known as la-di-da-di-da-di-dum. That's it. As he grew up, his la-di-da-di-da grew quicker than his daddy-daddy-dum. And when he was 15, everyone remarked on his la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-dum. He met a girl in la-di-da-di-da, she was pretty though a little daddy-dum. But she loved him the best, and the reason was because she rather liked his la-di-da-di-da-di-dum. Here's a nice verse. Her mother was very la-di-da-di-da, her father was completely daddy-dum. And they sat down to dinner of salmon mayonnaise and a bowl of la-di-da-di-da-di-dum. Now all went well till la-di-da-di-da bent to take a bite of daddy-daddy-dum. He cocked his plate and the salmon mayonnaise fell upon his la-di-da-di-da-di-dum. Her mother cried loudly, la-di-da-di-da, her father sort of mumbled daddy-dum. And her mother said, dear, you must try and find a boy with a smaller la-di-da-di-da-di-dum. But they were married in the spring of la-di-da-di-da and honeymooned in lovely daddy-dum. And then they found that they couldn't get in the double bed for his la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-dum. And so they decided, la-di-da-di-da, to use 2 single beds for daddy-dum. And they slept together and used the other one just to rest his la-di-da-di-da-di-dum. But he died on the morning of la-di-da-di-da, a victim of the dreaded daddy-dum. And they put him in his coffin, but they couldn't shut the lid for his la-di-da-di-da-di-da. There's a picture for you. And so the undertaker, la-di-da-di-da, decided on a plan for daddy-dum. And he made another coffin roughly 3 feet 2 by 1 just to take his la-di-da-di-da-di-dum. Last verse. So you can read on his tombstone, la-di-da-di-da, the son of la-di-da-di-da-di-dum. Now here lies his body, and in the next grave up but one lies his la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-dum. I started the first half, or the first spot that I did with a song about the rooster. This is another song about a member of that tireless breed. It's an old joke but a new song. There's 2 good ones there. Had 2 good ones. Sorry about that. Couldn't resist it. He was a grand upstanding bantam cock, so brisk and stiff and spry, with springy step and jaunty plume and a purposeful look in his eye, in his little black blinking eye. I took him to the coop and I introduced him to my 17 wide-eyed hens. He tucked and he tucked as a hero should, and he bowed from the waist to them all. Then he upped and tucked them all again. And then upon a piece of my ducks and geese he rudely did intrude. With glazed eyes and open mouth they bore it with fortitude and a little bit of gratitude. He jumped my giggling guinea fowl and forced his attentions upon my 20 hysterical turkeys and a visiting migrant swan, and the bantam plundered on. He ravished my fan-tailed pigeons and my lily-white columbines, and when I was locking up a budgerigar, he jumped my parrot from behind, and she was sitting on my shoulder at the time. Then all of a sudden, with a gasp and a gulp, he clasped his hands to his head, fell flat on his back with his toes in the air, my bantam cock lay dead, and the vulture circled overhead. What a handsome cock, what a noble brute, what a way to live and die. I was digging him a grave to save his bones from the hungry buzzards in the sky, when the bantam opened up one sly little eye, and he gave me a look and a terrible wink, the way that rapists do. He said, "Do you see yon big daft buggers up there? They'll be down in a minute or two. They'll be down in a minute or two." Right. The song now, which, well, I'll tell you about this first of all. I used to work in a group called The Other Half with Bobby Eaglesham, who's coming here a few weeks' time. Don't miss him. It'll be a good night, I promise you that. And the other lad in the group was a fellow called Tam Harvey, who is one of the original Humble Bums and a living legend in the Scottish folk scene. Bobby and I wrote this song after a rather nasty experience coming home from a gig one night. I must tell you, but we used to rehearse in Tam's house. That was always very interesting. Did all the practicing at his place. And he had a cat which could fly across the room and dive into a bucket of water. So, he used to help it, right enough. I remember we had a gig in a week's work in Edinburgh at the festival a few years back, and we all lived around Glasgow, you know, and to save travelling back and forward every night, because it was from 11 o'clock till 2, we looked for digs in Edinburgh, and we found a big kind of roadhouse pub thing called the George and Dragon, and we chapped the door, and a bloody great battle axe of a woman came to the door, and she said, "Yes," and Tam Harvey says, "Haven't I asked you yet?" He's a quick boy, was Tam. Actually, what he said was, "Is George in?" This Sunday Post. I sang this song on a TV thing I did about 3-4 months back, and partly because of the nature of the song, the show was on late at night, and I've got 2 children at home, and there was a big row about waiting up to see it. They wanted to go to bed. Anyway, I hope it never happens to you. As I was slowly driving from a folk song club one night, a police car overtook me, gave me such a bloody fright. 2 constables approached me, and they said, "We think you're fou." I looked from one to the other, and I answered, "To you." And they said, "How many whiskies did you have tonight? How many have you consumed?" The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. You'll know when you blow up this balloon. Well, I blew their breathalyzers, and I burst them one by one. They dragged me to the station, that's where the fun begun. They handed me a bottle, but it was rather small. I did my best to please them and flooded out the hall. And the sergeant, he did roar, "Hallelujah!" Then he made me dry the floor, hallelujah. Since that sad chapter in my life, I haven't touched a drop. I've tried both pot and heroin and found I'm not much cop. I've tried going out with women, and that's not bad, it's true. But I've come to this conclusion, and I'll tell it now to you. I'm going back on the booze tomorrow, booze tomorrow, booze tomorrow. I'm going back on the booze tomorrow. I'm gonna drink all day. I'm going on the booze, booze, booze. How about yous? You've got nothing to lose, lose. I'm going on the booze, booze, booze. Thanks very much. You've been lovely.
Ian, we'll use the box tonight. Iain Mackintosh.
All right, we'll do that. Why not? Thanks very much, anyway, for listening so well. You've been a smashing audience tonight, and thank you for having me. And if there's any young ladies who haven't had me. Right, this is an Irish song then. I've never finished off a night with this one, but it's just, in fact, I think it just might be a good song to finish off a night on. Now that I think about it, I learned it from some Irish friends called the Sands family, a folk group from Ireland, and this song needs an awful lot of shh in it, but you must go shh very loudly. That's because it's Irish. I'll sing you a verse, and you'll see what I mean. There was a little fly, he flew into a store, and he shh upon the ceiling, and he shh upon the floor. He shh upon the bacon, and he shh upon the ham, and he shh upon the head of the little grocery man. Just get your shushes in the right place, okay? And we'll try it. There was a little fly, and he flew into a store, and he shh upon the ceiling, and he upon the floor. He upon the bacon, and he upon the ham, and he upon the head of the little grocery man. Now the little grocery man got his little spray gun. He swore that he would kill the fly before the day was done. But before he could count from 1 to 10, the fly came in and shh upon the grocer man again. There was a little fly, he flew into a store, and he upon the ceiling, and he upon the floor. He shh upon the bacon, and he upon the ham, and he upon the head of the little grocer man. Well, the little grocer man was getting browned off. So the little grocer man told his equally grocery wife he'd kill the little shh if it took him all his life. And he went and got a hand grenade and hid behind the door, and blew them both to blazes as a fly flew in the store. There was a little fly, he flew into a store, and he upon the ceiling, and he upon the floor. He shh upon the bacon, and he upon the ham, and he upon the head of the little grocery man. Now they both went up to heaven, angels they were made, and the little grocery man said, now you'll be repaid. He flapped his angel's wings, and he flew into the sky, swooped down like a bomber, and he shh upon the fly. There was a little fly, and he flew into a store, and he shh upon the ceiling, and he upon the floor. He upon the bacon, and he upon the ham, and he shh upon the head of the little grocery man. Has it not been hammered to death? Okay. It's a Jim Herd song then. Again, as I told you, about a collection of sporting songs. This is one about golf. Any lady golfers here? Have we? What a deep voice you have! Okay. Did you hear about the au pair girl that killed the milkman? Took her a while, but she did it. I'll tell you the story of Big Ellie Mae, who took up the golf in a serious way. With her shiny new clubs and her big plastic bag, she could have passed for Jack Nicklaus in drag. Tooraloo, tooralay, and it's keep your heads down, boys, and hammer away. Try that. Tooraloo, tooralay, and it's keep your heads down, boys, and hammer away. Now Ellie was handicapped more than the rest. Her swing was impaired by the size of her chest. Her overdevelopments were her downfall. When she swung, they both swung, and they all missed the ball. Tooraloo, tooralay, and it's keep your heads down, boys, and hammer away. So Ellie decided they had too much scope, and she tethered them up with a big piece of rope. But they didn't like being tied in a noose, and the very next swing once again they were loose. Tooraloo, come on, sing it, tooralay, and it's keep your heads down, boys, and hammer away. So in sheer desperation she went to the pro. He looked at Big Ellie and said, I don't know, I've only seen two that can swing like yours do, and they were on a camel in Calder Park Zoo. Tooraloo, tooralay, and it's keep your heads down, boys, and hammer away. This pointed remark at the poor girl's physique made Ellie lash out in a great fit of pique. Her blow caught the pro in his most cherished spot. Now he's got two just as big as she's got. Tooraloo, finish it, tooralay, and it's keep your heads down, boys, and hammer away. Thanks again, you've been great. Thank you.
Well, there you have it, Iain Mackintosh. Fantastic.